So, a couple weeks ago, one of my good girlfriends, Vanessa, sends me an Instagram post. And it is a woman, Reshma Sujali, who is the woman who's the founder of Girls Who Code, and she's an attorney, all-around badass, one of the first Indian American women who's ever run for Congress. And she's telling a story about how she's been invited to yet another Master of the Universe convening, and Bill Gates and Warren Buffett are going to be in the front row. She's been given 10 minutes, and she's in the back trying to get herself together, and she's thinking, I really wish I had 12 minutes. If I had 2 more minutes, I could finish what I have to say. I don't know what she did, but I really hope she took those 2 extra minutes. Because how many times have we sat in a room where a man took 5 extra minutes, too much time, too much space, and said absolutely nothing? But I digress. She goes on to talk about how there's all this pressure, and everybody keeps telling her, you should be, are you okay? Are you okay? Because this is a really intimidating spot. She says she's thinking to herself, I have been in a lot of rooms, lots of leaders, lots of CEOs, lots of presidents, prime ministers. And often she thinks to herself when she meets these presumably men, you run what? Because me and my girls would run circles around you. And then she reminds us that at the end of the day, it is not that women aren't prepared for the gig. It is not that women aren't intelligent enough. It is not that women can't be leaders. It is the unearned privilege of men that we need to unpack if we're going to understand this dynamic. And so she says, you know what, let's stop reading the books. Let's stop looking at the podcasts. Let's stop listening to TED Talks. It's all propaganda. It's all BS. Let it go. And while we're talking about unearned privilege of men, let's also talk about the unearned privilege of white folk. Because sometimes, and I'm a woman who does this for a living, sometimes I get a little confused about what we're talking about here, right? So the conversation that we often have about women divides it up, women and people of color. And for those of us who are both, who are you talking about? But I digress again. So, Vanessa sends me this text, and at the bottom of it, it says, "'Cause me and my girls." And I get to thinking about my girls, a lot of my girls. The first set of girls that are your family, and the girls that are girls because your moms are girls, and then school girls and church girls and campfire girls. You all have heard me talk about my elementary school gang. Those are the people that I sang Lady Mama Lard with in the basement. Those are the people who we fought about which Jackson brother we gonna marry. I didn't tell you we used to do dances in the basement. Maybe that's another story. They tried to teach me double dutch. A disaster. I gave up before they did. We went through puberty together. I am so glad you only have to do that one time. Then that circle got bigger because I went to high school. And that's where I learned how to be a proud nerd. And I was surrounded by artists. And these artists have been creating all their lives. Many of them are professional artists. And Yvonne, who actually straddles a couple of those circles, heard me say one time, I think I really want to write. She bought me a writing class for my birthday. She opened up and continues to open up writing spaces for me. She asked me, what are you writing? She believed me when I said I wanted to do it, and she helped me do it. And then I go to college. And I participate in a couple of social experiments. The first one being, how can 3 women who are completely different live together peacefully? And then the second one is I pledged Delta. And I pledged Delta with 11 other women. And I learned a lot in that experience, but the thing I carry with me most is there is absolutely no way you can get 12 people to agree on anything. And so we should probably stop. But what we can do is create a space where all 12 women can be heard, can be seen, and participate in the decision making. So I go to work, and I find out that, your girls don't have to be the same age as you. So Haroldine, Bernadine, and Pat adopt me, and they help me make that transition. They used to call me Junior Flip. They help me make that transition in it, but then they also help me make the transition out of it. They said to me, it's time for you to go. You can't grow much more here. So they help me leave the nest. I get in other workspaces, more girls who are much like family. I have the Soul Collective girls, and then I have the Mature Hot women. Now, I say this all the time. I know you may think you know what hot means. Hot is actually health conscious, optimistic, and triumphant. No shade if you thought we were pole dancing. And in fact, thank you. Because if you think I'm that athletic, thank you. Last summer, I got to dance again for the first time since the pandemic, and it was really hard. It was the first time I was actually dancing injured. The only reason I got through it was because of those women. So now, I've given you a list of a lot of women, but I also want to tell you that I heard a lot of other things about women when I was growing up. Women are malicious. Women are dishonest. Women are always competing with you. Got to watch your back when you're around women. Women are passive aggressive. Now, I want to tell you that I didn't swallow all that, and I didn't internalize that, but that would not be completely true. I, of course, have male friends, many male friends. I think I'm the kind of person who needs male, female, light, dark, yin, yang. But I was one of those obnoxious women at one point in my life where I would say, I just prefer the company of men. I don't think that's actually true. I think I was performing that nonsense. I absolutely do have really great friends who are male. Some of them are in the room tonight. But it is something very different when you are standing in front of your girls. And your girls are looking you in the eye and they see you. They see all of you. And they don't flinch. So as I begin to close tonight, I want to finish the Vanessa story. I've developed a habit during the pandemic where I reach out to my friends with a simple text, how you be? She's been going through a lot. It's been a really rough time for her family. So she texts me back and she says, I'm tired. And everything about that resonated in me, because I too am tired. It's been a very rough year. It's been a breakdown year. It's been a breakdown physical, it's been a breakdown mentally, breakdown emotionally. And so I said to her, I got a problem, Vanessa. I got a show on June 5th, and I have written nothing. I don't like it. I don't know if it's because I'm in this dark place, this weird place. Everything I write sucks. You gotta help me role play this, because I'm gonna have to tell Emily I can't do the show. And she said, the muses will come. Tonight we rest. Next morning, she sent me that Instagram post. I knew exactly what I wanted to say. I knew who I wanted to talk about. The words flow, the tears flow. I was there. So I'm going to try something now. I need you to bear with me because this is going to be a struggle. I'm going to try to thank Vanessa. That's the easy part because she's not in the room. I want to thank Vanessa for being my girl and for being my muse in that moment. But now I'm going to try to thank the rest of my girls. And I can't possibly name names because I'd mess up, I'd miss somebody. And they're in the room, so if I say it, I'm going to cry. And I can't possibly list all of the things that they have done to show up for me. So this is what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to say thank you for being in my life. And thank you for all of the ways that you've shown up for me. But most importantly, thank you for seeing me, all of me, in my messy imperfections and not flinching. Your love, your support, your acceptance has meant the world. Thank you.